morning, YouTube, albeit a very late morning. I've been, well, by the time this hits the channel, it'll probably be afternoon time, but it's done all the same. So let's get into another chat. I am just setting up my laptop. I'm late this morning because, well, first and foremost, I had too much wine last night, but I was up. And I just wanted to, like, Monday's kind of my easy day, if you like. So Sunday, Monday is like almost my weekend. And I just take it a bit easier, basically. But I wanted to get the dog training done. So I've been out most of the morning. I think I did about 10 till 12 with the dogs. And it's just, I'm just repping at the minute. I'm just drilling what it is that I'm teaching. So a lot of what I do is, obviously I do a lot of training for my online evolution. I do it I'm running this 30-day challenge at the minute, but I'm also doing it for myself as well. So a lot of the time, whenever I'm working with the 4 dogs, I'm always recording what I'm doing. And a lot of it is repetition. So as an example, at the minute, I'm working on competition obedience with Hunter. And going back to a lot of the foundations of, you know, luring and rear end awareness and having his head up and rewards coming from behind and all that sort of thing. And I'm doing the same with Lily. Now, obviously, there's a massive size difference. And I wanted to touch up on this because Lily I can literally fit her in the palm of my hand. If you think about a big German Shepherd of like 40 kilos, I think Lily's about 6 kilos, so she's tiny. But I'm doing the same training with both dogs, not for any, not because I want to compete with either of them, but to demonstrate that no matter what size the dog is, we can teach these behaviours to them. As it stands, all dogs really, all of my dogs have got good loose lead walking, you know, walking nicely by the side. And Lily was kind of a dog that I didn't actually really need to teach much of that to, if I think back to it. But all the same, I'm doing this work with her because often I tend to get quite medium to large sized dogs. I don't think I've got anything as small as Lily, puppies aside, obviously. But I almost think that little dog training kind of gets like sidestepped, if you like. Obviously, the bigger the dog, the stronger they are, the more aggressive they look. And it's always been a little bit of a pet hate of mine, if you like, when, especially like going back with Digger, but even with Lily, when she was attacked during lockdown, and she pretty much got dragged. You know how small she is. She got dragged by a German Shepherd and she ended up with bite marks and she was being dragged through the fence. And she's also had this previously. So as you know, as a reactive dog owner, especially if you've had a dog who's been manhandled by another, it takes a lot of work to be able to build up their confidence again. So with all the work that we're doing, it kind of got to a point where, like, way back when Lily was like kicking off, she's got that horrible screech of a bark, like the bark that I call not a proper dog bark. I'd often find, like, it wasn't the same time as Hunter. I'm rambling here. That's my wine head, obviously. I had too much wine last night. But when Hunter kicked off barking, it was a very judgmental place, because big dog kicking off, me struggling to hang on to him, really. People like, oh god, aggressive dog. When I think back to when Lily was kicking off, they were like, oh yeah, you tell them, go on, you, like, no, why should the size of the dog make any fucking difference as to how they are allowed to behave, you know? And this isn't a bias towards my love of the German Shepherd. Of course I love the breed, but I love all dogs, and I just think that little dogs training and reactivity training, so to speak, kind of, like I say, just gets, yeah, it's all right, you know, it's only a little thing. We can, the owner can hang on to them, and it's funny, but it isn't funny. It isn't funny at all, because in my experience, it's the smaller dogs who can do the most damage. Granted, if a big dog gets hold of a little dog, there's generally only going to be one winner, unless they come up against Digger. But all the same, terriers have a very strong bite on them. I mean, the only dog that, well, not the only dog, because I got bit by that Mastiff. But when I worked in the kennels and I got bit by the terrier, like, they meant it. And even more recently, when Hunter and Digger collided against the Biscuit, the bite was actually meant for Hunter, but it collided with my knee, and it went right, my knee, into my thigh, and the bite wound went right in, so it was meant as a serious bite, you know. Any dog can do damage, but my story and my lesson, I guess, for today is that irregardless, whatever size dog you've got, I don't think we should be, or if you see a reactive dog, I don't think we should be almost like passing the buck, so to speak, on just the larger dogs. Is that the right phrase? You know what I mean? We shouldn't be judging just because of the size of the dog. Even smaller dogs need this training, and not just for the fact that, you know, little dogs are easier to handle and it's potentially more funny, but on a emotional mindset level for the dog. You know, these dogs, like, if I'd have left Lily and just been like, oh yeah, she's small, I can like hold the lead with one hand, it doesn't matter. It's not fair because of the reactivity she was presenting, it was stressful for her. So for me to not do anything about that would be leaving her in a life of constant fear and constant worry, and nobody wants that, right? We don't want it, and I didn't want that for my dogs, definitely not. But it's not fair to have them live a life of stress. So I guess that can be my lesson for today. Like, irregardless of what size of dog you get, or have, or see, they still need help with their barking dog training. That's Miss Sky Rocket. If I touch this, am I going to knacker it? There she is. Look, hi baby. Hello. Are you having a good old scratch? She's molting like fuck at the minute, aren't you, baby? Yeah, get your nose out of those Christmas presents. So yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to say today. You'll often see, like, I think, obviously I attract German Shepherd owners because I've got German Shepherds, and like I said earlier, I get a lot of medium to large size dogs in. But don't let that put you off. You know, if you see any trainer, whatever, some trainers, and I guess I can include myself in this. Like, you know, I want to work more with German Shepherds, but that's not to say that I won't help a smaller dog, a terrier, a Dachshund, a Shih Tzu. You know, I will help all dogs, especially if somebody comes to me with a problem. So yeah, don't leave your little dogs, basically. And if you see a little dog out there reacting, try not to encourage it for more the owner's part. You know, it's easy to be like, oh, look at them go. You'd be doing the owner and the dog a bigger favour by saying, hey, you know, it's probably worth getting that looked at because of X, Y, and Z, and exactly what I've just said. So kind of encourage people to get their little dogs trained and to get training for them. Because otherwise, you know, some people can be like, oh, well, people just laugh at him, so it's all right, I don't have to do anything. Whereas if somebody's, you know, got the backbone and said, actually, you know, you really could do with getting that sorted because it doesn't look like your dog's coping very well in the world, then that might make them think a little bit more and say, oh, actually, yeah, I probably should, because it is still embarrassing, and although people laugh at me, you know, I do want to make sure that the dog's sorted, etc. So that is my that's my chat for this morning. I do have my coffee just over here on the other side of the desk, and boy, have I needed some coffee this morning. I haven't drunk wine for a long time, and truth be told, I don't drink wine very often. I don't drink very often at all. But of course, with Christmas coming up, all of my clients got a nice bottle of wine, and the extras, should we say, are in my kitchen, and it's really nice wine. It's not like the crappy wine. I say crappy, but the cheap wine that gives you a dock off. hangover and an inability to function the next day. It's not like that at all. It's really nice wine, really easily drinkable, but I still regret having that last glass last night. I was like, whoa. So yeah, there's my chat for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And tune in tomorrow for another earlier chat. I'll get it done early tomorrow when I wake up, instead of being like, where is everything this morning? And don't forget to subscribe. I'll chat to you soon.